I love Haagen-Dazs macadamia brittle ice cream. Yeah. It's the world's most perfect ice cream. I could eat it every day. A pint a day with an extra pint the week of my period. I'm hypoglycemic and lactose intolerant. But I am willing to take the pain from my macadamia brittle. It's not easy to find. There's usually only 3 or 4 pints at the store, and only Whole Foods or sometimes Giant carry it. It's a dark, cold, and lonely world when they're sold out. I first discovered it about 5 years ago, about the time my husband and I started marriage counseling. Ice cream was always a big part of our relationship. In fact, I think ice cream is the reason why I married him. On one of our first dates, he took me to Baskin-Robbins, and I love Baskin-Robbins. I grew up a Navy brat, and on every Navy base around the country, I swear, there is a Baskin-Robbins. So since the age of 12, I've had my standing order. It's a scoop of mint chocolate chip and a scoop of Jamocha almond fudge in a cup. Now, I'm of the mind you can tell a lot about a man by the kind of ice cream he eats. So on this date, I insisted that he order first. Yeah, give me 3 scoops in a sugar cone. I'll take chocolate on the bottom, and then I want mint chocolate chip and Jamocha almond fudge. Oh my. What were the odds? I mean, there are 31 flavors to choose from. And this tall, dark, and brooding man intuitively picked my favorite flavors. It was ice cream kismet. I married him so fast I didn't even know his middle name. I was all caught up in our ice cream romance, and frankly, all my friends were getting married and having kids. So when this guy proposed 4 months later, I said yes. It was about year 5 we started with the marriage counseling, and at that point, ice cream was really about all that was left. All that was left of our relationship was our mutual love of ice cream. We kept half-gallons of Breyers on hand for everyday use, but on Saturdays, we'd go to the Delray Dreamery together. He'd have the chocolate. It didn't matter what the flavor of the day was. This man would always order chocolate. It was as if, as soon as we got married, he cast aside all the fun flavors, and it was nothing but chocolate all the time. He even had a T-shirt that said, "I'll work for chocolate." At our first marriage counseling session, the therapist asked us if we were willing to work for the relationship. My husband just leaned back in his chair and pointed at his shirt. "I'll work for chocolate." So the therapist told us to take a trip. He said, "Get out of town, rekindle." So we went to Rehoboth, and every night we'd go to Core Brothers for frozen custard. One night as I watched my husband eating his chocolate-dipped, chocolate-on-chocolate swirl, I realized how misled I had been. This was not a Jamocha almond fudge kind of a guy. And for somebody who liked chocolate so much, this guy was disturbingly vanilla. All his clothes were beige or brown or gray. His favorite color was neutral. He was steady, solid, trustworthy. I wanted excitement. I really just wanted to get a rise out of him, so I kind of punched him in the arm. I said, "Hey, do you think we should get divorced?" He wiped his mouth, looked me in the eye, and said, "Probably." So we cut our vacation short. We came home early. I found myself at Whole Foods, just trawling the ice cream aisle, looking for something to make me happy. That's when I found the macadamia brittle. At first I thought, no, he won't like it, it's not chocolate. But then I thought, hey, if he doesn't like it, I don't have to share it. This new ice cream could be just for me. Macadamia brittle was going to be something I could truly love. God, it was so exciting to find a new flavor. It's got these chunks of brittle. If you let the pint soften just right, the chunks of brittle get all gooey and melty, but the macadamia nuts themselves stay crunchy. And the ice cream, it's vanilla with personality. It's cold and creamy and just resplendent with flecks of real vanilla beans. I like to curl up on the couch with a pint. By the time I'm 3/4 of the way through, it's so melted I can just drink it straight from the container. I wonder if he ever got jealous of that ice cream. I shared some with him once. I gave him a couple of scoops in a bowl, and he went right ahead and poured Hershey's syrup all over it, which I thought was pretty damn passive-aggressive. Not too long after that, macadamia brittle became impossible to find. The stores were sold out more and more often. I'd talk to the managers. I'd drive frantically back and forth between Arlington and Alexandria, just desperately trying to find some. I'd even go online at night just to look at a picture of a pint at the Haagen-Dazs website. Then there was this afternoon drive to visit my parents in North Carolina. My husband came out of the roadside filling station triumphantly waving this brown paper bag over his head. He said, "Hun, I'm the bomb. Boom." And there it was, a pint of macadamia brittle, the first I had seen in over a month. How I loved him in that moment. We were so happy. We were both laughing. We didn't need marriage counseling. I tore the lid off the pint and I dug in. I didn't even taste the first bite. I didn't even notice the shards of ice that were slicing my tongue. It was freezer burnt. This pint was over a year old. It had been defrosted and refrozen so many times that all the chunks of brittle had sunk to the bottom in a soggy, congealed clump. It was ruined. There was no saving it. I threw the whole thing in the trash, and we both stood there crying as we watched it melt and ooze with the rest of the garbage. So my husband and I got divorced. And it sucks that he got to keep the house and the cats. But what really pisses me off is I've lost all my ice cream. I can't go to Baskin-Robbins anymore. Just the thought of frozen custard turns my stomach. And the macadamia brittle relationship is over. Haagen-Dazs discontinued the flavor. I've written a lot of letters lately. Some to Haagen-Dazs, just begging that they reconsider and make more macadamia brittle. And others to my ex-husband's attorney, just begging that they reconsider and give me some fucking money. The letters that I get back are eerily similar. Dear Ms. Howe, we appreciate your concerns. Our decision is final. Please cease and desist. At least Haagen-Dazs has the decency to include some coupons.
All right, hey, my name is Jennifer Howe, and let's see, what can I tell you about myself? I'm a holistic health counselor. I teach mindful eating and balanced living, and back in August, I woke up one morning and decided I wanted to be a professional storyteller. So I went online, did a Google search, and I found Speakeasy. Found out they were doing a boot camp, signed up for the boot camp, had a fabulous day, walked away with this great idea for a story about ice cream. Because what I think about food is that food can be love. And when my marriage went downhill, I turned to food for comfort, and it worked out really well. So I had this great story to tell, and in boot camp, they helped me see how it could be a story I could actually share with people. So when I found out about the Sucker for Love show, I thought, perfect, I've got my ice cream and divorce story. Sent the idea in, and they called me, ironically, the day I got dumped by my then boyfriend. Asked if I'd be available for Valentine's Day, and I figured yes I would. So started going to rehearsals with them, had a story that I thought was pretty tight, and they started to work on it. And at first I was offended because I liked my story the way it was, but the way it's turned out, I am so thankful and grateful because now it is an incredibly tight story. I've had this great experience where I get to hang out with these other incredibly talented and funny people who are really spontaneous and warm. And it has been the best, I kid you not, it's been the best month of my life. I've had such a good time. And being here tonight, this is the second night. We originally had 2 shows scheduled. They both sold out. They scheduled a third. It sold out too. The crowds have been amazing. The other performers are amazing. The direction, the people at Speakeasy has just been such a great experience. So I am forever grateful. I'll do it again. I'd give away parts of my anatomy to be on stage again. So, you know, that's my plug for getting into the next show if possible and fulfill that dream of being a professional storyteller. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I'm Jennifer Howe. If you want to look at my face again, I'm at howtoeat.com, and get yourself hooked up with Speakeasy because it will change your life in the best of ways.